Hello, unicorn loves. I hope everybody is staying safe and sane out there. Welcome, one and all. If you are brand new to this channel and this is the first time you are clicking on welcome, and for those of you who just subscribed or have been with us for a while, welcome also. It's such an honor to be able to read for you today. So, one little announcement. I did want to say the Unicorn School of Light, we still have our Unicorn 21-day abundance, beautiful abundance course going on there for your inner child and your badass self. The link is below. That is $33 if you would like to join us. But the main thing I wanted to talk to you about today is I have a brand new course coming out. It's a 3-day course. It's called Beyond Fear. It's for all you sensitives, empaths, light workers, starseeds, however you identify or don't identify, how to manage anxiety, depression, and fear, giving you some support, some guidance, and some context as to why you feel it and how to get through it. So that will be a 3-day course. I call it a 3-day weekend course that's going up on the Unicorn School of Light next Friday, and that will be free. I wanted you guys to have this for absolutely nothing. It's really important information. I really sincerely hope it helps you in any way possible, and at the very least gives you some support, knowing that you're not on your own, being super sensitive out there and feeling this kind of fear and anxiety, especially at this time. I know we're being called to action at this time, but it's also, you know, a chaotic time, a historic time in history. So for any of you who feel like you need some extra support, please go ahead. Feel free to click that link on the Unicorn School of Light down below, and that three-course meal, that 3-day course will be available for you next Friday, next weekend for you, again for free. So today what I thought we would do is, what dreams are you manifesting? And sacred geometry will tell all. So we're going to be using the sacred geometry oracle card for our main foundation here. I absolutely love this oracle card. We'll also have some tarot too for your foundational messages, and then give you some extra messages. But we've been concentrating on the here and now, which is always wonderful to do, but I thought we would switch it up a little bit and go ahead and get you some information about what your future holds. What have you been manifesting? We've been really moving out of some old patterns recently, moving into some new ways of thinking. So let's solidify that energy and see what it is that you're manifesting. So as always, we have our beautiful candle here, which is set up for healing. You're welcome to project upon it to either release or use that energy to bring in more abundance and more healing to you. However you use the candle is totally up to you. But it's set up for a magical intention, and it has been dressed with the magical healing and abundance oil, which I did make under the full moon with the eclipse a couple months ago. We also, as always, have, well, not always, but usually have the 3 piles. Today I chose, with my eyes closed, upon our fridge in our kitchen. Obviously, where else would the fridge be? We have these sort of poets making sentences. What are they called? Magnets. That's the word. I always get confused with words when I start getting into channeling mode. So even though you can see the first pile is symphony, second pile is purple, and the third pile is reveal, I promise you, when I chose them, I closed my eyes and let spirit guide me as to which pile or which kind of energy would suit which word. So pile 1 symphony, pile 2 purple, pile 3 reveal. As always, please take as much time as you possibly need. If you need to go ahead and pause the video, do that. These readings really do work very, very well if you are in alignment. And as always, I'm conscious, and I really, really hope that you have enough time just to be able to, I know time is precious right now, there's so much going on, but to clear your mind, go off, do a meditation if you need to. The more relaxed you are and the more in higher frequency you are, the more you will be aligned to these readings and get the information that you need, and hopefully that will make sense and again resonate with you. The timestamps will be down below. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to move these out of here just for now. Pile 2 and pile 3. So if you picked pile 1, as a reminder, these sessions are always set up for healing also, so you're welcome to project upon the candle with the beautiful healing oil to either release from the old or move into the new and pull in manifestation and good stuff coming to you. That's totally up to you. And you picked Symphony. So what I felt for Symphony for pile 1, and again, this is what dreams are you manifesting? Sacred geometry tells all. The symphony of bringing everything together so it can work, all of what you've been working towards, sort of releasing the old but bringing in the new energy, and the idea of bringing in the new energy so it works harmoniously with each other, getting used to everything so you can work in tandem, in parallel with some of the old wisdom that you had, and the new energy coming in for your true new beginning. So that's what I got for you for the word symphony. And as always, we have our foundational messages. So I'm going to put these aside for now. We've got a couple of tarot, and we've also got, well, I'll put it here so you can see it on camera. And we also have our fairy deck here, our oracle fairy deck. But these are going to be your foundational messages. So, of course, we will start with sacred geometry, because after all, it's telling you all, right? So we have number 19, delight. The frequency of delight supports your capacity to create and experience feelings of intense joy and happiness. The more delight we feel, the more delight we evoke in others. So that's for you. And also for numerology too, if we put the 1 and the 9 together, 10, it's a sign of completion there, which is wonderful. Oh, look at this. 24, I love this. Earth. The frequency of Earth activates our deep connection to this physical plane by showing us the beauty of all the aspects of our Great Mother and revealing the more ethereal, spiritual aspects of our nature. So that's your second card for your foundational reading too. Oh my goodness. This is wonderful. The World, Archangel Michael, a job well done, joy, contentment, and gratitude. The path forward toward enlightenment. So I can tell you, pile 1, symphony is absolutely the perfect word for you. You definitely have come out of the old and you're working with the new. There's a little bit of stumbling every now and again, but you know that you're going to be okay. Now, we always try to give you some practical advice here. The one thing I'm picking up on, or the one thing that I'm being told, is that when you come into these sort of dark moods every now and again, it's the stubbornness that comes in. There's still a little bit of the ego that wants to do things the old way, but your frequency is too high to hold that energy for too long. It's almost saying, oh, shut it, will you? Just enough, enough, enough. We already know that's not going to work. But you do get into these ego sort of tantrums every now and again. So a practical way of doing this really easily is to bring in the magic of the inner child, the innocence of, oh yeah, that's okay. You know, if you actively try to ignore your ego when it starts like this, the ego goes, you're ignoring me, right? All right, I'm going to show you. And then it puts you a little bit dark and a little bit darker. Now, there's nothing here to worry about, because these moods are just the ego literally just showing you that it's dispersing and sort of releasing. And this is, you have a stubborn element to your personality. These are general readings, so if this part doesn't resonate, bear with us. We'll get you some other information. But you do have a little bit of a stubborn kind of mark to you, to your personality. Now, in the past, this has definitely worked in your favor in some ways, because I'll tell you why. You're the sort of person who is really open to energy, but at the same time, sometimes you say, no, I don't believe that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it that way. I'm not listening to you. And that's because you've attracted all sorts of different people who go off in all sorts of different ways and are very apt to trying to influence other people around you. And your stubbornness really grounded you into the earth and said, I'm not going to do it your way. Not that these people were bad in any way, shape or form, but you've always beat to your own drum. You've always done things in your own way. And you don't like the sort of the path, the regular path that everybody takes. And a lot of people that you've attracted, even though they were seemingly alternative, they were sort of like You know, they weren't necessarily trailblazers per se. They were more sort of followers in a way. And you don't have that mentality. So the stubbornness really stopped you from like getting on the bandwagon for things. And even if you did it in your own way, on your own terms. So it really saved you in some ways, sort of losing more of yourself than you needed to, because you were sensitive, you were very open, you did have an understanding of, you know, you didn't always know where you began and somebody else ended. But that stubbornness really helped you in that way by saying, no, I'm not going to do it that way. Even if what they said made sense, you were still going to do what they said, but you were going to do it in your own way. So that stubbornness is wonderful. And like we said, you know, you definitely used it to your advantage in a huge way. But we do feel like now it's just the stubbornness is, and again, we want to be clear, there's no darkness here. You're not using it against yourself per se. It's just as the ego is dispersing, it's just letting you know that it's still there. And it'll bring you into these old ways of thinking, into these very trapped moments of like just being in one state of mind. And if you've focused on a little bit of the negative, of the old state of mind, it might keep you there for a little while. It's just your job to be like, you don't even have to, like we said, you know, the easiest way of getting out of this very quickly is to adopting a new attitude. Bring in your inner child. You've worked on this energy already, and this inner child energy, this energy of dispersing this innocence, this beauty, will just disperse it immediately. It'll cause you to laugh or do something that will get you out of this energy. The more that your ego tries to do this stuff and the more that you disperse it, you'll move it on quicker. And again, we don't want you to get too far into this energy of, oh, woe is me, this stuff's coming up again. None of this is coming up again. It's just old. It's not even old energy. It's just the ego wants to be lazy. It knows that it's got really very little to do now. You're absolutely on the other side of what it is that you were working on. And it's been waiting for you to reestablish it, give it a new role. And there's no real role for it. So it's having a little tantrum. That's all it is. The delight here, the joy that you have, the brand new beginning, your word is expansiveness. You do realize that everything that you've asked for not only can be delivered, but you know, you're wondering if you even want it. You're into this brand new beginning. And again, in a practical way, because we always try to do this at Unicorn Light Tarot, give you some practical ways. It's really great to work with your guides at this time, but not choose anything specific. I see a lot of things out there at Instagram and people doing this. I'm doing this 30-day cleanse. I'm doing this da-da-da-da-da. Absolutely wonderful if that's the way you want to go. Our advice for you though, Pile 1, is not to choose anything right now, not to focus on one thing. Even if you're focusing on this one thing of, I want to eat really clean, I want to do this and cut out all the bad stuff for 30 days, you're still choosing one thing. If you allow your system to choose for you, it's going to choose all the right things for you in that one moment anyway. You don't need to disclaim it or move in that direction. Your initial intention just to be you will bring you to the right foods and cutting down on this automatically. So what I would say for you, and again, no disrespect for anybody who's using that, you know, some people love the idea of discipline and getting into that and doing that and being able to see the results in 30 days. Absolutely wonderful. Why would you not want to do that? For you, it's the opposite. Your word is expansion. Don't choose anything. Let the universe choose for you. You're learning that you've always chosen for yourself. Now, all your choices have led you to you. There were no wrong choices here whatsoever. So don't you worry about any of it. But what you're choosing for yourself now depletes what you could actually have, because you're focusing on one thing that you want, and the universe wants you to be open to absolutely everything that you can gain. So your thing is, what you're manifesting right now, what your future holds, is pure magic. It holds anything that you possibly want. And the way that you're going to get it quicker is to literally leave it in the hands of the universe, which you're now ready to do. There was an element element of control with you, pile one, and that's fine. You had to have your ducks in a row. You had a certain amount of time to work on things. You worked very hard. You wanted to see the results again. No judgment. The way in which you did it was absolutely wonderful. The way in which you healed, the way in which you used your wisdom and integrated everything that you needed to become you. That's wonderful. Now you've gotten to the point where you can sort of relax and see what happens. You've gotten to that point of that frequency. And again, you know, for pile one, if you're at that point where you feel like you're not there yet, a lot of people resonate at different points. You could be coming into this energy. You could be on top of that sort of mountain and feeling, yes, this is this brand new beginning. I can't wait to find that magic expansiveness. That feels great. Or you could be on the top of that mountain saying to you, I do feel like that's in my future, but I'm feeling a little lost about the unknown right now. So there's many different facets to this, but you will get here. And if you're here already, that's wonderful. Clicking into your guides, clicking into the wisdom of your guides and the wisdom of the universe. You know, you can say this to the universe, absolutely say it. I've done the work. It's not like you've done the work and you're here, you're arrived, recognize me. This is, again, we've already talked, the ego has been pushed out here. There's no ego in this whatsoever. This is about, I've come to this point. I'm now at the point where I want to keep my frequency so high that I'm just asking for what's next. I want to see what's next. I don't want to choose anything because I want to see what you choose for me, because I know that's going to be infinitely bigger than what I can choose for myself. And see where you're at. Let the universe match your frequency instead of you putting out there what it is that you want and constantly working toward it. You've done all this work now. Let's see what comes to you. Pure magic is in your future if you can do this. Working with your guides and working with the universe completely differently now. Before you would have said, I'm manifesting this. How do I do this? Baby steps. Now you're saying, I've manifested myself. Where am I going? What do I do next? You know, give me the highest tier that you've got there, the highest tier on the wedding cake. For some reason, I just got this vision of a wedding cake. You know, you have like 3 or 4 tiers. You know, maybe if you're rich, you got 17 tiers. I don't know. But generally speaking, you eat from the bottom tier and move up. Actually, I don't know if that's true, but I would say my practical, logical mind is saying that you eat from the bottom tier and move on up. Now, you've eaten from the bottom tier, you've moved on up, you've eaten all of the tiers of the cake, and now you're at the top of the cake. You are the the groom and the bride, or the bride and the bride and the bride and the groom, who knows. You are the emblems of the magical wedding on top of the cake. That's where you're at. You've done all these layers now. So you can say to the universe, meet me here, instead of like the lower layer where it's like, I'm working on stuff. What's my next move? You know, meet me here on the top. Let's see, what have you got for me? That would be wonderful. Let's see what else you have here too. So yes, you've got the 3 of Swords. You've worked through a lot of betrayal. And you have the Knight of Cups. You're absolutely ready. And yes, the communication for you, again, has shifted, has changed. The way in which you work with the universe. Now, the way in which you worked with the universe, again, no judgment, was wonderful. But really, it did require quite a bit of work. The way in which your future holds empathy, sympathy, beauty, ease, effortlessness. These are all your words that are coming in. Beauty, thriving. There was an element of control in the way that you worked with the universe too, just because it was hidden behind the pragmatic mind, but there was an element of control too, because when you asked for something and you worked, you know, quite frankly, you worked your arse off to get there, and you listened and you were guided, but you expected the results, which is totally normal and completely human. But there's still an essence of control in there. And occasionally, if it didn't quite work out the way that you thought it should, then, you know, there was a little bit of backwards and forwards with that. Well, that energy is completely shifted. The way in which you communicate, the way in which you work is completely different. Like we said, you're on top of that mountain, you're on top of that wedding cake, which is calls for celebration, right? Absolutely. A wedding, bringing in two entities together to meld their life together in trust and beauty. You're on the top of that wedding cake. You're now saying, you know what, meet me here. What have you got for me? There's no control in that whatsoever. You're not trying to control that. You're literally integrated all the wisdom that you had from your past, all the betrayal that you had. You now see that you needed to go through that. That does not excuse what people have done to you before. That does not excuse the behavior for people not standing on their own and taking responsibility for what they should have done. Not at all. But again, that's not you. You've come to this, you've done your part in this, you've released them, you've come to a neutral kind of understanding of this, so you can release and move yourself away from any of this, so you're not looping your brain around what you could have said and what could have been done. You've got the Knight of Cups. You're ready here. You're ready to go into, you see, I love this. I think it's Moonscape, Witchscape. I'll link it down below before I go through 3 or 4 different things, which will inevitably be wrong. See, it's riding here up into the sunset, into the Ace of Cups up here, right there. Absolutely ready for your new way of being, your chalice of all of your wisdom. It's not exactly a payoff, but it wouldn't be unreasonable to think that it is some kind of payoff. But if we get lost in that thought, then we're back into the ego. So I don't want to go back into, you've been traveling this road to get to exactly where you are, to this freedom-based thought. Absolutely. Again, your mantra is, one of them could be, it's like, what do you have for me, universe? Invite the universe in. Say to them, really don't be afraid. Have that sense of whimsy, have that sense of, let's see what you've got. You've got that energy, that real, not necessarily, you don't have to be a Sagittarius, but that real fire, but open energy within you anyway. So just use that to be able to invite these sort of fun-loving games. Whatever you've got for me, I can do this. I'm ready for it. I know it's going to be big. I'm ready for this brand new. And it's not even a new beginning, because you've sown the seeds. It's everything that you wanted. But the way in which it'll come to you, it's absolutely wonderful. So when you think of what you want, keep it completely open. Again, don't focus on just one thing. If you're looking at houses, if you want a new house, don't just look at houses in Maine, which I've been doing, by the way. Absolutely wonderful. Look for them everywhere. Be open. What would it be like to live in France? What would it be like to live in, and all these different places. You don't have to go down the merry-go-round of, that's not even a saying, merry-go-round. You don't have to go round and round and round and try and, look at just houses in France or this, that, and the other. But keep it open. Keep it expansive. What would it be like to, live in Egypt for a year? What would I do there? What am I interested in? Get excited about, the concepts of what you're interested in, and be ready for something, new opportunities to come in that will definitely sort of remind you of what you thought you wanted. It won't necessarily be completely out of left field, but it won't be exactly what you wanted, but it'll be really, really interesting opportunities. So your dreams are coming true, but they're actually coming true in the way that you resonate with the universe. Keep that beautiful frequency up of joy. Again, if that stubbornness comes in a little bit, you can redirect your ego as best as you feel, but the easiest way is to really employ your inner child. And when you're trying to think of ways in which you will move forward and this expansiveness too, ask your inner child what they want. Sometimes they know better than you do. So I thought for this magical reading, the sea melodies would be wonderful. I mean, we've got the sea sirens here for a little extra message here for you, pile one. But you're doing absolutely everything right. You're ready to, I don't even want to say take off, because it's not really taking off. It's ready. It's you're ready for your close-up. You're ready for this expansiveness to attract what it is that you're manifesting. And I'm really excited to see what you're manifesting. So let's see what we have here. All right, we've got anchor. Keep yourself grounded. Absolutely. And that's the other thing too, when the ego comes in for those dark moments every now and again, keep yourself grounded. You absolutely know that this is not truly your mind. So you don't have to worry. Ground yourself back into your energy as you're in that expansive space. Obviously, ground back into your energy, ground back into earth energy. Your connection to Mother Gaia, your connection to the earth and humans in general are, the way in which we're moving toward a more justice-filled life for all, and being open to those changes. You've definitely resonated with that. You're definitely on that vibe. So I don't feel as though you're not grounded, but keep yourself grounded. If you feel as though, with the expansiveness, you're sort of off and away a little bit. I just got this red balloon, not like that horror movie, but like just a red balloon sort of floating up. Make sure to pull yourself down sometimes, because when you're in that high frequency, it's really important to do extra work sometimes to bring yourself to ground level, because you're out in the ethers a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. I spend most of my life out in the ethers, but it does feel different when you are grounded at the same time. You can enjoy the experience even more. It keeps you more in your physical human body, and we are here to be physically human in this lifetime. All right, one more for you, pile one. Dive. You don't find pearls on the seashore. Well, that's exactly what we've been talking about. You are ready to dive. It's the way in which you are going to do it. Your action is one of less action, but in some ways it's much more intense action than you've ever taken, which will result in far more expansive results beyond what you could ever have dreamed of. So I feel as though you're either moving into this energy already, or you are in this energy and feeling it and ready for this brand new sort of, and again, invite that energy in. What have you got for me, universe? What have you got for me? I can take it. Give me your high tier. You're right on the top of that cake now. Don't settle for anything less. Don't settle for anything less. So I hope this resonated with you, pile one. Blessings to you. This is an incredibly beautiful place for you to be in, and you've worked really hard to get there. So work less hard now, bringing in all the symphony moments of making everything work together so you can just have this gorgeous life that you absolutely deserve. So if this resonated with you, do feel free to give me a thumbs up, and do subscribe if this resonated with you and you have not already. We would love to have you here at Unicorn Light Tarot in our beautiful little community. Also check out the community tabs, because I am going to, for the next week, going to do one card oracle readings every day. And don't forget, absolutely down below is the link for the Unicorn School of Light. We are going to have a beautiful course coming up for free, 3-day course, Beyond Fear, for all you empaths. And you can always treat yourself and your inner child, your inner baby, and go get some magic in your life and join us on the 21-day Unicorn Light Tarot course there, Unicorn Abundance course. So another couple of ways for you to keep this high frequency in your life. All right, my darlings, stay safe and sane. And until we meet again, pile one. Bye-bye. Okay, pile two, if you chose the word purple, don't forget that we have the healing candle here. Use it as you see fit, either to release the old or to pull in manifestation and healing. It's totally up to you, but that's what these sessions are set up for too. So purple, higher chakra connection to your guides, all types of spirituality, coming into a sense of higher learning and higher being for sure. Prudence, karma, fate, destiny, intuition. So let's see what you have as your foundational reading. I'm going to put these aside for now, because they will come in handy a little later on to give you some extra extra information, but for now we want to stay with our sacred geometry and see what you've got. Empowerment 26. The frequency of empowerment, let's see, make sure you can see that, supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in the deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. So I'm not surprised that you chose purple. So let's not forget the context of this reading, which is, what dreams are you manifesting? So this is what you are manifesting. Passion. The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, balance, and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within the intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of the core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. So there's a few things I can already see for you, pile 2. And then you got the Knight of Fire. There's a lot of fire energy here. I absolutely love that. You've got the staves. Passion, adventurous, self-assured, and restless. A sudden event that needs immediate action. Time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. So there's a few different energies going on here. Pile 2, but there's definitely a sense of coming into your own version of empowerment and what that means to you, and really this true understanding of not exposing yourself to emotionality and the past, but not being of it. There's a reclaiming of the spirit that's coming in for you, where your life will become infinitely easier and, again, abundant and sort of rich with emotion and beauty, because you're no longer getting caught up in other people's emotions or other people's sort of inquests or versions of life. You won't be reacting or being triggered by others anymore. And this is sort of a cutting of the cord, the passion, the fire that you're using inside of yourself to be able to cut it firmly and say, this is not for me anymore. It's almost like you're coming up with your own, as I describe it, sort of a book of shadows, but if you're not witchy inclined, it's totally fine. Not everybody is, but earth-based. But your own sort of creed of not Creed from The Office, but Creed. Actually, he did kind of beat to his own drummer in many ways. So yeah, absolutely. But this idea of not being accepted and accepting what it is that you want for yourself, but writing it down, having a creed for yourself. This is what it is that I want. This is no longer what I'm putting up with. This is how I'm going to do it. And really sort of, you've done this before. You are a trailblazer, but you have this kind of version of yourself where I'm going to go off and do this, and then you've done it, and then you'll look over your shoulder like, no one's behind me. I feel a little lost. I feel a little lonely. Did I make the right decision? Which is totally fair enough, but you have that trailblazer spirit. But now you're absolutely, all of your resonance, all of your energy is behind you. Your guides are behind you. You've got this. This is your future. This is what you're manifesting. So you're blazing off into your future now. You're not looking back to see if anybody's behind you. Whoever will be behind you will be the right people. You're not looking for anything anymore. It's not that you were looking for validation before, necessarily, but when you trailblazed and you went off, you were oh, am I, that, a little bit of doubt, am I on the right path? You were, and you did it on your own terms, but now you're not questioning yourself. There's no doubt that comes in. You're doing this on your own terms. There's a real firm sense of empowerment, of coming back to you and saying, when somebody says something, X, Y, and Z, this is what I think. That's good for you. I don't believe that. You're keeping everything open, but you're also coming up with a version of who it is, not who it is you want to be, but what it is you want to see for yourself. And you're not settling for anything else, which is brand new for you, because you've been very open, where you've taken in so many people's version of reality, which is wonderful. And you're going to stay open. Paradoxically, you actually become more open by being a little bit more not closed, but a little bit more substantial about what it is that you do and don't want, and shutting others down in some ways. That's good for you, but that doesn't work for me. You should do this. Well, you should do this because you want to do this, but it's not working for me. It doesn't work for me because that's not the path that I'm on. That's not what I want to do. Whereas before you'd be like, yeah, that does sound good. Maybe I should do it just to have an idea of it, just to see where it leads me. You're not doing that anymore. That's absolutely wonderful. Now, you're not there to cut people off and say whatever it is that they're doing is wrong. You're just putting yourself first and saying that doesn't work for me anymore. So, your guides have definitely been working with you in several different ways of healing. And one of the ways that you've been healing, which is really wonderful, is that, again, there's a little bit of this in pile 1, but very different energy, where you begin and somebody else ends. You really understand the difference now. You can shut down aspects of your chakra, and sometimes it's good to do that. Your chakras were way open before, letting in all sorts of information. And as you were incredibly open, and again, you can be open now, but in a much more productive fashion. Your openness before allowed everybody to be who they are, and you still allow everybody to be who they are. But before, your openness really sort of infected your version of reality a little bit more than it needed to be. And it sort of infected your version of what you wanted for yourself and your own mentality and your own state of grace and your own connectedness to your own spirituality. You were influenced a little bit too much without even realizing it. But yet you were very strong in your valor and who you were. So you may not have noticed to the degree where you were getting influenced, except for, maybe making a decision. Like you said, you like we said before, you move forward with complete, with the sense of victory and then looking over in a little bit of doubt. That's just because, you were taking in other people's energies and other people's versions of doing things. Now, you really are a trailblazer. You're not going to do things the way that other people are doing things at all. So if your version of reality looks completely different to everybody else's, accept that. You're ready to accept that. In fact, you find complete and total power from that. Whereas before, you were excited by it, definitely excited by it, but there was a little twinge of like anxiety around that too, of being that trailblazer, of being that one in front, of being, in the limelight in that way. Now you absolutely know it. You have it. You've got that night energy. You're going in there on that horse. You've got it. And this passion that's behind it too. You absolutely know who it is that you are. More importantly, I would say, Patu, you know who it is that you're not. And that's more important for you, because I feel as though you've always known who you are. But because you took on so much other energy, you didn't know who you weren't, because you took on so much other energy. Again, you didn't know where somebody else has started, somebody else began. But that's been cleared out. So you're brand new. What dreams are manifesting for you? A whole new version of yourself. And again, it's a whole new version of who you're not. Want to be really clear there. Let's get you some more information. Very exciting time. Also, for some of you, now these are general readings. For some of you, I'm not big on the twin flame thing. People are obsessed with it, and I don't know why. It's relatively rare, and there's a lot of ups and downs with that situation, and I feel as though people use that for, I don't know, ways to really microscope into, this essence of true love, or whatever it is that they will, make excuses for their current situation or whatever. I don't know. Even I've seen people in toxic relationships stay in them because they believe they're twin flames. There's so many things out there for false twin flames. That should show you. Not big on twin flames, but there is soulmate energy around you, which I think is amazing, and just as important, if not more important. So for some of you, there's soulmate energy coming in. There's absolute soulmate energy coming in. It's coming in really quickly this fall. There's an essence of those who have incarnated in this lifetime. And I know for some of you who are sitting there going, well, we're not fully open yet. I barely leave the house. I don't know how this is going to happen. I feel you. But I'm telling you, it's going to happen anyway. And because you're a trailblazer, this shit can happen quickly and weirdly, but in a good way. Weird is good. Weird is the new good, right? So do not doubt that this stuff can happen. But there's a lot of energy coming in for the other aspect of your love life coming in full time. I mean, we're talking quick. So this is energy for you too. You should have been maybe feeling them around you. Dreams. Again, please don't get hung up on the whole twin flame thing. It'll just drive you down that rabbit hole, and it's really not necessary. But this beautiful energy that's coming in for you, this is another reason for you for that empowerment. And for those of you who are like, oh yeah, again, general reading, but for those of you who are like, oh, back in the day I kind of wanted somebody, but now I'm really happy just being me. But yeah, now you're gonna meet him. That's when it happens. It absolutely does. So for those of you who are like, yeah, that'll be great if it happens, but I'm not really into it, trust me, this stuff's coming in. This is another reason why this empowerment's coming in, pulling out the old. This is the new person that you're attracting. So you're attracting, your future is manifesting the dreams of being somebody, and this person is worthy of you. No more of that crap where you're putting up with this, or tarot cards when people come to me. If this person is this person for me? If you're asking me to do a reading, generally 9 times out of 10 the answer is no. I don't need to pull out the deck to tell you that, right? Be with somebody where you don't need tarot cards to tell you if you're supposed to be with them. This is that person. This is that person coming in. And this is the person that you will be with them. You'll already be this person. That's beautiful. So let's see what we've got. So you're coming out of this. The confidence reversed. You've got that 7 of Cups. Absolutely. Look at this. I hope you can see this. It's energy of being held up, not just by your guides, but this is your significant other coming in, holding you up so you can reach for the stars. Again, the purple, the higher frequency, getting right up there, trailblazing in a way that you've never done before, to the level that you've never done before. You've done it before, but again, no more looking over your shoulder. Now, we do have the Queen of Pentacles reversed, but that's that doubt. You see, you do have the Queen of Pentacles, and I've just been told quite vehemently, these guys are, do it. Turn it back up, because it's you, because, you were always a trailblazer, but you did doubt yourself. Like, come on, everybody. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but it really makes me laugh. It's called Old School. And anyway, it's really not relevant in any way, but for some reason it just popped into my mind. One of the characters gets really drunk, and he starts he strips off, and he starts running naked through the streets. Come on, everybody. And he looks over, come on, everybody's behind me. And of course, no one's behind him, right? So it's like, I'm not saying that you get drunk, get naked, and start getting out there, but in a sense, yes, you've always had the energy to get out there and do that, and and you've always been that trailblazer. But then you've gotten to the point, I know people will follow me, but like, if you don't see it immediately, there's been a little bit of that doubt, and then you've doubted your power. You've doubted that the essence of the trailblazing, which is absolutely you. And now you're moving into this full energy where you're not doubting that anymore. Actually, the way in which you were was absolutely perfect anyway. All you're doing is manifesting a higher frequency version of yourself. You've really not shifted that much. Your frequency and your confidence in yourself has shifted. So these were upside down. We're going to put them back up, because you were always the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the other side of it is, and I'm not big on this idea that somebody else completes you, because come on, we don't need that. But, there is another energy that is coming in that can help you build this firm foundation that you are doing for yourself. And that person will help you, as you can see in this card. But you're the one reaching. You're the one doing that. It's just a firm foundation. And for those of you, Pal 2, who have not always had a firm foundation, you've had to work really hard for that firm foundation. You've not always felt at ease in the world. You've not always felt as safe as you could in the world, because that firm foundation wasn't there with you. You had to work extra hard, extra grounding to be able to find that for yourself. This person coming in and the way in which you are now is going to build that firm foundation. And once it is built, it will never, ever falter. It's an incredible time for you, Pile 2. So I'm using these sea melody cards because, our mermaid, a little siren energy here to get you some last messages. But this is absolutely wonderful. This empowerment and passion coming in and solidifying where you're no longer looking over your shoulder is exactly what you deserve. Exactly, and that's the other thing, because before you were getting trail ahead, let's do this, and then you would stop and question yourself. here's sudden events, you immediate action there, you're right there, and then it's, time is of the essence, and then think things through carefully. So there was always these two different kind of dichotomies going on within you. Now you're just trailblazing forward and having that expansive, beautiful life that you absolutely deserve. So let's see what we have here for you. Ambition. Set your sights beyond the horizon. Absolutely. Now you've got this, that was the essence of pile 1 too. If you feel called to go back to pile 1 and listen to it, do always go with your intuition. But that's it. The way in which you were working before with the trailblazing, questioning yourself, or a little bit of doubt that came in, and the way it came in could be just tiny, but just a little bit. Like a little bit of speck of dust. If you have, I grew up with vinyl, and I still have records. I love them. I play them all the time. But, sometimes a little bit of speck of dust can actually make it skip. So you have to, clean off the record and go at it again. So just a little bit of that doubt really could have stopped you in your tracks at some point, and turned into something else. So now that you're not in that frame of mind anymore, you can ask for anything that you want. And going back to pile 1, I don't want to go too much into it, because if you decide to go back there, I don't want to give it away, but it's really about you saying, leveling up with the universe and saying, I'm here now. What is it you want for me? Just being open to whatever it is for you, instead of trying to, and take that trailblazing energy, and have the universe level up to where you are at, instead of always trying to higher your frequency. You're high as you can be in your frequency mode, and now the universe is going to match you, and then things just take off, right? So let's choose one more for you here. Communicate. Things left unsaid will never reach the shore. Now you had the communication upside down. That's fine. You're being reminded now that everything that you do on this trailblazing, if there's still, again, I always say that, even if you choose a pile, sometimes you're at different parts or aspects of where you're at. You're absolutely on the other side of this, where you totally understand that you're trailblazing, you're not looking over your shoulder, or maybe you're at the point of, looking over your shoulder, but you're getting to that point. Wherever you're at, if you're at the point where you're trailblazing forward, but there's still a little bit of a doubt about who you are, or how much information you have, or whether it's accurate, this is your confirmation. You have gems, truth and gems. The way in which you think is brilliant. It is unique. It is a little bit different. If you really do feel like going back to pile 1, I'm really being called to tell you to go back to pile 1, because there's information in there. The way in which you communicate is absolutely you and yours alone. It's wonderful. Go for it. Don't doubt it, and don't keep anything in. For those of you who are at the stage, again, a general reading, but for those of you who are at the stage where you're a little bit unsure, you've got a little bit of that imposter syndrome stuff, absolutely clear it away. Stick with that empowerment, move forward. You've got gems of gold. Do not worry. The world needs exactly the way in which you are in this world. You do not need to doubt yourself on any level. And that's a specific advice for people who are at that point. But if you're at the empowerment point and the passion point already, you already know that what you've got is gold. Keep up with it. Remember, let the universe come to you. Yeah, absolutely. Let the universe come to you. So this is an incredible time for you, pal, too. Your future looks bright. What is that? Your future looks bright. You got to wear shades. Listen to that song. Get into it. Do it. For sure, if that feels right for you. So if this resonated with you, feel free to give me a thumbs up. And if it resonated, always let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. And if it did resonate and you have not subscribed already, please go ahead and do that. It helps the channel, and you get to be part of the Light Unicorn beautiful family we have here carved out for ourselves on YouTube. And don't forget to hit that bell icon too. We also have several ways to keep up your frequency and be beautiful spirits you already are, but just to help you on your way. The unicorn course down below, 21 days, working with your inner child and being a badass. And of course, we have the free course coming up, Beyond Anxiety, Beyond Fear, for all you empaths out there. It will be a 3-day course. It's coming late next week, and it will be free. So sign up on the link below for the Unicorn School of Light to be able to get on and take part in that course. All right, pile 2, take it easy, stay safe and sane, and until we meet again, bye-bye. Okay, for all you pile 3ers out there, if you chose the reveal word, as a reminder, this is definitely set up as all the new readings for Healing 2. So if you want to release and get right back into what it is that you need to release from, feel free to do that. Project upon the camera. You could do that too. Project upon the candle. But if you are also looking to pull in abundance and to pull in beauty and manifestations, you can do that too. It's set up for healing and magic, whatever it is that you need to use it for. So your word reveal too, waiting to reveal everything, but also just putting all your cards out on the table, ready to stand in your own power, ready to be who it is that you truly are under every circumstance. So let's see what resonates for you, for what dreams are manifesting for you. Now we're going to use the sacred geometry for your foundational messages here, and we're gonna check right back in with these babies a little bit later. So let's see what we've got here. Your first card, Crown Chakra. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe, our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Absolutely. Revealing the true source. That is you. And then you have the synergy card. I love this card. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of the not so obvious, never been seen before combination and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to new reality. So I can already see here, pile 3. Okay, life experience, Archangel Chamiel. I love him. I think it's him, her. Doesn't really matter. He's got a kind of an asexual kind of understanding of him anyway, whoever this archangel is, but one of love, a significant life event, a powerful revelation, reveal, hello, leads to change, time to spread your wings. This is a beautiful, beautiful reading, a very, very powerful. I can feel it already. There's definitely some layovers. I don't know if that's the word I would use. Actually, that's more of if you're getting on a plane and going to a different airport. But there's definitely some interesting sort of, we'll use layovers for now, between pile 1 and pile 2 and pile 3, but very different energies. But you are here to reveal what needs to be revealed, to reveal the truth. Now, there's perfect and relevant truth, and then there's new light codes, there's new truth coming in, a brand new way to be. The specifics of who you are and what you're manifesting is to stand in your own beauty and project that truth in many different ways, through conversations, through speech, from just being you. But you're here, and we've used this word in pile 1 and pile 2 extensively, trailblazers, and we're going to use it again for you. But you're here to actually bring in new modes of thinking. A lot of people who are in the spiritual realm, the aspect of spirituality, are wonderful people, nothing said against them, and but they're still using an aspect of the mentality of the old 3D life, but they're applying it to the 3D version of events and bringing it in sort of into the 5D, and that's wonderful. You're not doing any of that. You're literally leaving all of the 3D and bringing in the sort of new versions of the 5D, which will not look and feel to some as familiar necessarily. Now, you're not in a position where people are going to think you're absolutely crazy. Oh my goodness, things they're coming out with. Who would ever think that? It's nothing like that. You have the synergy. You have the alchemization of the mind movements as you move forward. You know what you're saying, and what you're saying will resonate with people. Absolutely. The way in which you do it will be brand new, though. You're sort of breaking the mold, and you're not here to bring in any sense of the 3D. All of your 3D moments have really been about transcending the 3D and figuring out how to transcend the 3D and how to help others transcend the 3Ds and the 3D version of life. And you will still continue to do that. And you will be able to speak to them by having them work through the 3D issues, sure, but your persona, your personality, what you stand for, your energy will be firmly in the 5D. And many of it may go a little, not against, but maybe, not in line, I would say, fully and completely with what other spiritual beings are doing right now. We brought this up, I think it was in Pile 1, where really wanted everybody in Pile, but the message in Pile 1 was to stay open. A lot of people right now again are doing 30-day cleanses, and all of that stuff is absolutely wonderful, but you're choosing one way. Being asked to be expansive, being open, trust your system. You already know that you're not going to eat this, you're not going to eat that. You're already doing what you need to do. There doesn't need to be a label on anything anymore. That's exactly where you are. That's what your future is. And just doing this for you. So there's an openness to you. There's a not choosing necessarily one thing, but staying open to the conceptual truth, which is no longer, this is getting a little heady, but it's no longer attracted to or in any way integrated in the 5D sort of version of events anymore. So a lot of people are keeping their frequency high, but they're still, again, doing it from an essence, an echo of the mentality of the 3D. Now, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with that. As long as your frequency is high, that's wonderful. That works for you. Go be you. Go do you. That is not necessarily what's going to bring you the triumph that you want. Yours is firmly rooted in the 5D, firmly rooted in the expansiveness of not choosing one thing. Again, this runs very firmly in Pile 1. If you want to go back and check it out, that's fine. But your energy is different. You're ready to be in the 5D. You're ready to stand for that truth and take all of the life experience that you have and reveal everything and all of the truth that you were here to reveal from the beginning. You will not be revealing it from any aspect of the 3D realm. So it won't feel as familiar to some. Now, people, again, won't think that you're crazy because you're not coming out of left field, but you're not taking anybody else's word for how they're doing it. Again, you'll be very firm boundaries, which is something you've not always had, but you have very firm boundaries here. Pile 3, well done. That works for you. Well done. Go be you. Not going to work for me. Not going to do it. And again, with Pile 1, but this could be good for you. It could, but that's not where I'm at. And I'm being, sources to, I don't need to do that right now. It's not about being beyond it. It's just not a trail I want to go down. Don't need to do it. Don't need to do it that way. This is the way I'm going to do it. So let's see what else you've got. This is very exciting. Yeah, 3 of Cups, bringing people together in a brand new way. Now you have transition and you have, let me show you the cards before I go on about them. You have transition, you have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this is just letting you know that in this transition, again, we want to be very clear, it may look different to you than it does with everybody else. You'll be doing things slightly differently when everybody's going down one path, and there's nothing wrong with that path. It's wonderful. It's keeping everybody's frequency high. It's giving people wonderful information that they need. But, there's a part of you that's like, I'm not feeling it. I don't feel like I need to do that. Don't doubt yourself. That's wonderful. again, you're here to deliver the truth from no sense of labels or boundaries or anything, which is ironic because you're going to have the boundaries to say, this isn't me. So if you are, I say this in every single pile, with the practical advice, with these general readings, you can very often feel a little bit different, like you're at this point where you know this is happening, or you're reaching to this point. If you're at the transitional point where you can feel this in your future, because this is what dreams are you manifesting. Your dreams to be manifested is to be a completely unique, autonomous being, a sovereign being in your own right. This is what you've manifested from the beginning. This is exactly what you're doing. If you're in the transition where you're a little bit, miffed, or trying to figure out where a lot of things that you were interested in and friends of yours are following or doing, and you're like, that sounds wonderful to me, that sounds like a great idea, or it would have sounded like a great idea. Why does it feel like it's not for me at all anymore? Why do I feel like vehemently I don't need to do that? I shouldn't be doing that. I don't understand it. If you're at that point, you're in the transitional phase, that's totally fine. Come back to source, come back to you. You're just here to do things a different way. Let them do it that way. Again, there's nothing intrinsically wrong with what they're doing. They're educating people with the knowledge that they have, and it's wonderful knowledge, and the world needs it, and 2 thumbs up for them. But that's not the knowledge that you need to be partaking in right now. The knowledge that you're partaking in is staying open and bringing the new truth in a very, very unique way. So, your community is coming. Your energy is coming. The way in which you see things. And again, it's not about justification, but we're here to come together and work together and have these communities and stand for justice and make sure that everybody is okay. And, these others are doing this, and you're wondering why you're not on the bandwagon, but, why you're not doing this. You're going to do this in your own way. Your people are coming to you. The people who are going to resonate with what you're saying are going to come in and around you soon enough. You're here for community, but, the way in which you think it's not above, it's just different than others. The way in which you're going to approach this with the crown chakra and the synergy is going to be a little bit different. Now, I'm not saying that others who are out there are doing outdated stuff. I'm not. Like I said, they're not. Their wisdom is wonderful, but it's not truly in the 5D as yet. You're coming truly from the 5D. The light codes that have been activated within you are absolutely in 5D, and that's what you will be communicating, and you won't be communicating it in the shell of the 3D, which is what others are doing. Again, this is really important work, because if you do not have this wisdom out there in the shell of the 3D, then people who are transitioning over and need help will not be able to get to you. So these people are really important doing what they're doing, but that's not you. So let that energy go of, this idea of, things that interested me before don't interest me as much. The label of something doesn't interest me, understanding that you're a starseed, that's fine, but I don't need the label of it. I don't need to find, understanding more about it, absolutely, but really getting into the sort of the labeling of things, the labeling of starseeds. Getting lost in the label is not what I need. You're beyond labels. You're here to reveal all of the essence of everything beyond labels. I hope this is making sense, Pile 3, because this is a little bit more ethereal in some ways than the other two, even though the energy is different, but some of the messages, again, translate over. So don't doubt yourself if you are in the transitional phase of this coming to pass. Now, if you're in the synergy, well, you are in the synergy in the crown phase, crown chakra opening anyway. Protect yourself with the crown chakra opening too. For those of you who have had a lot of ascension symptoms, especially with the dizziness and everything, you're carrying some really intense light codes here, and the truth that's coming in for whatever, and you've been activated into your own particular path, which is to be a real trailblazer in this lifetime, absolutely, completely, and totally. So make sure that you work with your guides and your angels and ask them to close and open your chakras as needed. Sometimes we don't need our chakras so open, and sometimes we need to be a little bit more open, and sometimes different chakras need different things. So as you go through this time, if you're in the transitional time, do make sure that you work with your guides in a practical way and ask them to go in and open and close your chakras as needed. Things can change at a moment's notice and a day's notice. They will know how to do it. They will regulate your chakras, so you don't have to worry about that. Keeps you more grounded, keeps you working with the symptoms. If you're working again with a dizziness or a little nauseated, hopefully you're coming out on the other side of that. Clearer vision, or even seeing traces sometimes of colors and things like that. That's another activation that you might be coming into, or I don't want to say side effects, but ascension symptoms. So if that's coming up, do speak to your beautiful guides, especially Archangel Michael. Archangel Chamiel too has come in for you for this reading. A beautiful angel that works with love and harmony. Again, your community is coming in, and your community is already there. An essence of your community is already there, but please don't worry about following the path. I keep getting this idea, or this, I got this quick vision of a wolf, like what is it, Little Red Riding Hood, and then the wolf coming after her. Don't see yourself as the wolf, or doubt yourself just because you're not doing things the same way everybody else is. And again, everybody is worthy, whatever it is that they're doing and however they're communicating to the world. We absolutely need that energy right now. So nothing said against them, no judgment whatsoever. But don't try and compare yourself to anybody else and what they're doing right now, because you'll see yourself as the wolf and you'll fall short of that. You'll wonder if your ego is getting too much, or you'll doubt yourself in ways that will loop your head, and you'll go down this rabbit hole, and none of it's absolutely true, because your ego will step in and go, yeah, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, who do you think you are? Don't do that. Don't go down that road. You're coming out of that fairy tale element. Let people do what they're doing with no judgment. Of course, you're not going to judge, but don't at all compare yourself to what they're doing. What they're doing is valid, but what you're doing, you're moving into a brand new beginning of sorts with a new sense of revealing, and it's just not what they're doing, and it's just your time is coming to do it if you've not stepped into it and started doing it already. So there's no point in comparing at all. It's just going to bring you a little bit more grief than you need, and at the very least it will cause you to doubt yourself, and fall prey to sort of the ego that tells you, who do you think you are, and that imposter syndrome stuff can come up, and you're down the wrong road if any of that stuff comes back. So come back to source, come back to grounding if that comes back to you. It's okay to say that you're unique and that you're a trailblazer and you're going to do things differently and you're going to reveal, new truths to the world. That's totally fine. Other people will do that in their own way. It doesn't mean that you're better than anyone else. You're just going to do things differently. And for now, you may feel amazing about who you are and what you're doing, but you may not have the firmest foundation set up for you quite yet, because you're still working with these energies. So there's no point in going back or looking over your shoulder in any way and comparing yourself to people who are doing things not necessarily the old way, but are still working within, trying to figure out who they are within labels. Again, there's nothing wrong with saying that you're a starseed. It's really important to know the essence of what a starseed is and how that works for you. All of that is absolutely wonderful. But again, you're working beyond labels. Once you've realized that, and once you've worked through that, you can release it, release all of that as a label, and move into this sort of reaffirming entity of you being absolutely everything and everyone. So we have the sea melodies. We're going to get you a couple of insights from our sea, I was going to say sea urchins, but that's sea sirens here. Get you some extra energy. Direction, trust your inner compass and find your bearings. Absolutely, this is all about intuition and knowing where you're going. And again, just to reiterate, don't concentrate on what you don't want to follow and who you don't want to follow and what you don't want to do. Just concentrate on the fact that there's a brand new wave coming in, and it's absolutely wonderful, and it's maybe not the right time for you to pick one thing and do one thing, to stay completely open and see what the universe delivers for you. you. And that's been a little bit of a theme in all of these readings, I would say. That's kind of where we are right now. To be open, not to choose one thing or just to do one thing and keep it closed. Just, be healthy, eat healthy, do good things. Let your intuition choose. Just allow yourself to be open to what's going on right now. But absolutely make the best decisions for you and your body and your mind at all times, and trust that you will. Because you will. That's exactly where you're at. Okay, one more. What do we got? Flow. Yes, let your worries drift away and also go with the flow. Could not have thought of a better card for you right now. To go with the flow. Don't choose anything or anyone right now. Go with the flow and level up and see where the universe takes you. You absolutely are being revealed onto your specific path, and you have been training for the specificity. I did it. I got it. For your particular path right now. So allow it to develop. Just keep yourself open and expansive and see what happens. That's the best way forward. It doesn't mean that you don't have any direction. That is your direction. Your dreams are manifesting at an alarming rate. The way in which you work with the universe is completely different. Again, revealing the profound truths beyond the 3D is why you're here. And there's a unique way that you will do it. And bringing in the new level of community that we have here, because we're moving out of the chaos. Well, we're still in the chaos, but everybody's working within the chaos element here, which is a really, really grassroots, wonderful way to do it. But, you're being activated to come out of the chaos, alchemize out of that, and move into the genuine, peeling away the truth. This is what we've got. That's your trailblazer version of events. So stick with it. Stay true to you. Stay open and expansive and work with the universe. See what the universe has in store for you. Stay in with the flow. And remember, what you reveal is not necessarily how other people are going to reveal it. Just let you be you. And don't dare compare yourself to other people. The other thing that I would say that's very important, that don't put people on pedestals anymore. You are exactly where you need to be and go. You are on the same level as everybody else. I don't care if they've got a best-selling novel and you don't. It really doesn't matter. You are coming into who you are. Don't put people on a pedestal. Don't think that they have more experience than you. That's what you need to do. You've been training for this for several lifetimes. So don't compare yourself to anyone or anything or any other situation right now in any shape or form. And that definitely coincides with putting people on any kind of pedestal. You can respect them for who they are, honor them for everything that they've done for us in this lifetime, and for their ancestors and future generations. That's wonderful. But you are absolutely on the same level as these folks, so treat them accordingly. All right, Pile 3, that's what I have for you. If it resonated with you, feel free to give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. And of course, if you have not subscribed already, please consider doing that. It helps the channel. Click that bell icon. We would love to have you here in our family of Unicorn Light Tarotites. That doesn't even make sense, but you know what I mean. We'd love to have you here. And of course, if you need any other support, join the Unicorn School of Light. There is a new beautiful 3-day course, which is completely free, coming out the end of next week, how to deal with fear or moving beyond fear. And we also have our 21-day beautiful abundance, working with your inner child and badass self to be you. So that's a wonderful thing to do if you want to at some point. So yep, that's it. Until we meet again, you stay safe and sane, my loves. Take care. Bye-bye.